Welcome to the Laghu N Dog Show. I am Laghu, and I'm Dog. We're here to discuss some of the phenomenon that happen in our reality in accordance to this other observers. Now let's say, with my music in the morning when I choose it, I normally don't know what I'm choosing. The words and the rhythms all try to randomize their patterns, so I can adhere to my external reality, basically. I don't know. The patterns on the outside of my reality tell me that what I'm feeling on the inside of myself are actually real. So I start my show off with a little random music and see how it facilitates the air and the consciousness of the reality. So what have we learned so far? This is a recap show. We've learned that when it comes to conscious engineering to define your reality, a true statement is not sustainable in any other secret but itself. So if I have a secret about a car that I bought in color and I don't want to tell anybody, if you can ignose yourself, you can find the secret of that car without ever seeing it. One of the biggest constructs that we as humans deal with is that there are a lot of secrets hidden in the reality of magic and conscious that if we could see the way we're supposed to, what was that? We would simply know the government couldn't screw us, or aliens couldn't screw us. We wouldn't be able to be in control. Exactly. So they're here. I'm trying to teach us, as humans, how to instinctually understand your reality so you can stay clear from power-hungry observations. Because there are many observation platforms when it comes to external imprints into someone's divination of self. And I would say that ideally, when one involves himself in reality, that is a divination of purity. And it shouldn't be messed with. So I'm going to try to teach us with our show. And this is our show. This is the viewer's show, this is my show, this is our show. I'm going to try to teach us how to discern our reality. So I don't have to make a show about it and have you watch a show and you can discern it for yourself. So my show is actually about how to find the strength to understand your reality without it taking you down. Excuse me. This will be a short show, but to start off, we'll say the first lesson is to start off knowing who you are. Alright? Now, what you are and who you are can always be the relationship to life. You can spend your life developing who you are, or you can spend your life being who you are. You will be in either front of yourself, showing everybody who you are, or you will be inside yourself, being in love with what you are. When we're born, humanity alone, not the ancients of the planet, not the aliens, but just humanity. They were born with a very unique spark. That light coming off the wheel is ferocious. They were the first force. In humanity is a timing mechanism, a trap, so to speak. They will hold and retain the responsibility for this planet and all the aliens. What we don't know is that the planet invited us here as humans, not ancients, as humans. The planet invited us here as a journey of heart, of romance, of purity. Humanity's obligation was to express itself in its most complete range it could. In its most complete range of emotion, from love to hate, from violence to sex. Humanity is not supposed to worry about any power or assertive relationship because their power is being dealt for them, and if you put power in their hands, then the protection that is protecting humanity has to compete with what the humanity wields around. So the universe has disarmed humanity to go up against aliens in a battle of equilibrium, in a battle of mutual display. The aliens believe that the hierarchy of themselves dictates the negotiation of the relationship to humanity as a science experiment, as a product. And humanity has gained a benefit of the doubt at a minimum, but they have strived very hard to sustain the relationship of the most outer world as power against the aliens. And we bring this power to you, aliens, to suggest a mutual arrangement again. Let us bind forces, let us coherently adhere to the relationship of this mutual well that is so desperately trying to give itself to humanity and the aliens. Ideally the aliens feel responsible and guilty of what has happened with humanity on this planet, or else they would not be throwing up weapons of defense. Lately I've been studying time travel. Sorry, I was just channeling there. Lately I've been studying time traveling. And what I'm finding out is very disturbing. Really, how long have we been on? 9 minutes, we'll go 10 more minutes. Alright, so here's a map that I have. Dog, you want to help me with this map? Yes. So here's a map that I have. Basically, there are, see if I can draw this up, okay. So, you have something, you have the force, which is observance or creation coming in. And then you have a compression field. This first compression field is what space is made out of. Okay, this is what they call the ether. Space and ether. The second compression field is called electricity, or maybe even plasma. This third compression field is called liquid life force, water, and mercury. This fourth compression field I don't know yet. I did know for, but I forgot for, so I just forgotten for a reason. This fifth compression field is blood. Laghu. So, when studying okay, so I'm seeing that there's two ways to do this. The abstract is always an opportunity, but religion is viewed as the scientific evidence reverted to a factor of reverse hypnosis. So religion is like God putting what's inside an atom in a human being and having that human being walk and describe the atom through their actions. So later when it gets dialogued that God was always there, that he used to interact with life by getting humans to live out scientific equations that were on such a scale that they were not seeable by the naked eye, either macro or micro. But right here are compression fields. And it just goes. This is the pure. So really, what it's saying is that this is a time matrix. So what it's saying is that our space is in this one. Life force is in this one. Life force is in this one. This is electricity. So, water, blood. Now a compression field dictates the distance between synaptic relays. So, technically, all the life forces are current based. They all exchange current. All the compression fields all exchange current. But it's like, in this expression, in this field, in the space field, the etheric field, here, the synapse is this far apart. You know, and the synapse is at the end of a string. And the synapse is this far apart. But in this one, the synapse is that far apart. So somehow, what this is the same thing as this, just folded 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Folded 3 times for water. So this is unfolded 3 times for water. I'm not sure where I was going with that, but so we're learning a little bit here and there, and really, you just gotta be careful. Some exercises you can do to discern your reality and your own. So, what we learned is the biggest problem we include with is secrecy. So, mainly because secrecy is so embedded in the prominent society that if the truth drips in anybody, they'll get defensive, they'll get reactive, they'll solidify a clot, and even if it takes you to death, it will fix the problem. We're in that type of environment. So you gotta be careful who you tell things to, for most of all. because it can cause a reaction negatively in society. Basically, because the secrecy is so embedded here that you just gotta be careful. So a lot of times I'll try to help people, and I've noticed that I can't quite get the information out, and I usually find that usually it's because that person was involved in something that can't connect with another layer that I'm a parent to, which could be aliens or government. So, like I said, I don't have any physical proof yet, but I do know what a gnosis is. In a gnosis, there's this degree of understanding that when it's embedded in your heart, and this is the main orientation of what the creator, the source factor works for. The source factor teaches everybody. Dog, would you like to say this? I'm not a source factor. Yeah, you are. Dude, I'm dealing with like multiple yous, man. I had to develop my own situation to deal with just you. You're a factor, okay? The source factor. Fuck you, dude. Forgot what I was saying. So we gotta be careful. So we gotta be careful, like what we do when we do it. Not just for time inclusions, but for your safety. So if you are gonna learn how to, and this is exactly what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. Abstract, just broken down, simple terms. I am developing tools to pull my mind out of my body, not physically, but a pattern, with the same synaptic pattern that's in my brain, imprint around my head. And then in doing that, you use this space as part of your brain too, because it symbolizes right away that you recognize the space around you as being as capable as your brain, because technically this space is inside your brain doing what your brain is doing, and as soon as you recognize the space around you is just as capable, that's what you do. You build a pattern, that a map for yourself that you recognize. My brain, my heart exists outside my body because it's the same space and same element that's inside my body. And then you program it to visually work as a journey, or a symbol, or a synchronicity of 11:11, or music playing at the right time, or a bump next to you in the hallway. Now there's ways. The idea is to learn how to program the synchronicities first. So when you see 11:11, or 12:12, or 22:22, look for something external that's you. Look for your coffee cup, look for your pet, look for your notebook, look for your children, see what they're doing, look for your teacher. Teacher doesn't count, but look for your mom, get a phone call, get the phone call, don't make a phone call. Actually, that's a good point. What do we think about that? Think you should make a phone call? So, if it's 11:11 and there is no external imprint of yourself, make a phone call to someone you care about at 11:11. Try to get the don't pick up before 11:11 exits for 22:22. A few more seconds. I'm only gonna make a 20-minute video. So we learned that humanity ultimately has the root foundation of an experiment in the progress of property, where the property is idealizing its own awareness to even fight for their life. to humanity is. The root equation of humanity is they're a science project that grew up as property, and the science project and the property have gained such a relationship to the reality, to the universe, to other factors, that there is sustainable weight benefiting the outcome in a positive way towards humanity. I think I might have another show in a couple hours. This isn't to scare you, this is to hold tight in your heart. I get treated this way because they treat me this way because I'm a science project. And only when I stop being a science project will I find the root of myself. Now the root of yourself is actually not in the science project. The root of yourself is actually embedded in a God, a spectrum of conscious reality and heart manipulation driven throughout the critter of life. So every human on this planet has an external form separate from themselves right now that is alive and moving, making choices, making decisions, saving other lives, making beneficial choices to answering prayers and miracles. Out in time and space right now, every human body has an eternal being acting as a God. The object of this planet is to connect every human to that God-like factor. And it's that God that came in here with the science project in their belly. So, the root of humanity isn't necessarily being the product or the science of an alien race, but being an eternal element that aliens would call God to ourselves. And in this statement, you can leave yourself with, we all are the children of Source, acting as Source, taking care of our young as Source. And we protect our young, and we protect our elderly. When you become relevant to the satisfactory terms of controlling reality for yourself and other people's patterns, drop pencil, spill a cup of coffee, powerlessing everything. It's just a couple of words away.